Hey everyone, Josh at House Guitars, and I wanted to shoot a quick video today showing how I join my top plates and back plates for an acoustic guitar. And I thought I'd do this just because I use a method that is not very common, and I only know it as the tent method. And if I remember correctly, I was originally shown this method, or I originally came across it on a video series done by a builder named Frank Finocchio. And when I started building, this set was available through Stu Mac on VHS. And I still have those VHS tapes buried in a box somewhere, but I'm pretty sure that's where I learned to do this. And one of the things I liked about this method was it required virtually no special jigs or anything. You need a plywood work surface. I'm using 3/4 inch plywood. Under here I have a piece of 1/2 inch plywood that is 5/8 of an inch wide. And all I am going to do is, with my top here propped up on my stick, I am going to put nails down each side of the board and a couple reference nails to line it up at the end. And then by pulling out the stick and pushing the plates down between those nails, the pressure will just hold everything in place and give a really nice glue up. So very simple. And this method has worked so well, I've just kept doing it now 17 years later. So here we go. Okay, so I flipped the camera angle around to hopefully give you a better view of what I'm doing. I start by taking a thin piece of wax paper. I'm going to put that down the center. I've got my stick, again 1/2 inch thick plywood, 5/8 wide. And I have already hand planed the joint on the top, so that it is virtually perfect. I can candle it with no gaps at either end or along the length. I've also put some reference marks just along the top so that I get everything lined up. And so what I'm going to do now is start by putting just a nail in each corner and a nail under each end of the bottom, and that will keep everything where I want it. Apologize if the camera's jiggling while I do this. So the key is to make sure the nails are nice and tight against the outer edge of the plate that you're gluing, and also that the two pieces are tight together in the center. Now you don't want to have them pushed in so that they're riding up off the stick. You just want everything to be touching. Okay, so before I put my last reference nail in the bottom corner here, I just double check that all my lines are where I want them. They look good. So there, now the plate is stable. It's not going to move around on me. So what I'm going to do now is go back and put a nail every inch and a half or so down both sides of the plate. Okay, so there you have it, the nails down both sides, and as you saw there, I alternate one side then the other side. If you were to put all the nails down one side, it'd be too easy to push things more in the opposite direction, but as long as you alternate back and forth, you keep everything nice and even. I'm just going to flip it around and show you the glue up process. Okay, so I've repositioned the board here. Just turned it around, so now this is where the bottom was. And I'm going to take out my spacer stick. We're done with that. It's served its purpose. So, so now you can see the top is just resting where the spacer stick would have been, and now as I press down, it just nicely snaps into place with a super tight joint all the way across. Now, what I've found in trying to line this up, if I put the plates in like a tent and then push down, I find it doesn't line up perfectly. So what I actually prefer to do is I'll have this piece sitting in there flat, and then I am going to position this piece with this side propped up, and I can run my fingers along the edge to make sure everything's tight and even, and then I will push down on the back here, which will force everything together, and then I'm going to put some clamps on it. So just make sure that you've got that, that wax paper there, so nothing sticks where it's not meant to. And I just put a little bit of glue down the one side. No point in having too much extra glue here, as the squeeze out just make more mess to clean up later. So I got a nice thin, even layer of glue. Position it in place, so I push down just a little bit on the back to give it some tension. Now I run my fingers down both sides of the joint. Everything looks very nice. Okay, so I'm adding a bit more pressure by pushing down on the back here. Now what I'm going to do is before I push the back edge down all the way, I want to get some clamps on this. Just using cam clamps, they're nice and quick. They also hold the workboard up nicely. Okay, so I can just check it, everything's sitting nice and flat. So what I'm going to do now is just throw some extra clamps on it. Make sure everything's pushed down the way it should be. 9 times out of 10, this will just lie nice and flat. But I often throw I throw some extra clamps on it anyway, just to make sure that each side is not like springing up in the middle, anything like that. Just had to grab one last clamp, and there you have it. If I wasn't doing the talking, you know, that's a total like a 5-minute operation. And again, I love it. It's simple, no special jigs required. And this thing is now entirely portable. I can take it and prop it up on the floor, get it off my bench if I need to. And I'll generally let that dry overnight in most cases, and undo it the following day. So if you like this video, be sure to check out my YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe, and you'll find lots of other guitar related content, both for builders and for players. Thanks for watching.